Suppose for a minute you were sitting in your car, smack dab in the middle of Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and you pointed southwest down Highway 69, then kept a sharp eye out after half an hour or so. You'd roll into a sweet little place called Moundville. One stoplight, one main street, one general store. Been around for a long time, has Moundville. But it's a sad truth, as the sheriff says, even here, where everybody used to know everybody.
It's not that way anymore. So many different people are moving in from around the world and
Trying to escape the crowds.
well, escape the crowd or running from something.
Oh, yes, and where have you gone, Andy Griffith? Mayberry apparently is up and left us. Sheriff Ken Ellis fights real crime nowadays.
The crimes that you see in Hale County is the same crime you would see in any large city, just a smaller version.
Still, Moundville is Moundville, and neighbors do tend to know more of each other's business than they might up in Tuscaloosa, for example. Which can be a bit of a nuisance, as you're about to see, if you need to keep a secret. Especially, for example, if your secret is about murder. To begin with, this thoughtful young woman was just a girl of 17 back in '07 when things started coming apart, in the way things do when parents don't talk about it. Kelsey Mayfield saw that troubled look in her mom's eyes mostly, her mom Teresa.
I could just tell she was very stressed.
Ever clear to you what it was she was stressed about?
Money would be the main thing. She just wanted to be sure that she had enough money to take care of her family.
A lot of that going around, of course, Moundville not accepted. Like so many Americans, Kelsey's dad, Scott, had to work 2 jobs, neither of which paid very well, just to keep his head above water.
Very hardworking man. It took 2 jobs to take care of our family.
But, money trouble aside, Teresa seemed to have a happy life, as anybody could see, including Teresa's mother, Reba.
All Teresa ever wanted was to have a husband that cared for her, somebody she cared for, and to have a family.
And it was sweet and kind of corny. And even after Kelsey's 2 little brothers arrived, she could see the signs of her parents' affection for each other.
Every night before he got ready to go to work, he would give her a kiss on the cheek and say goodnight, say I love you.
To the town, Teresa was the softball mom. The trunk of her car always a muddle of bats and balls, she shuttling kids back and forth.
I remember there was a time where I had a softball game and Tater and Kobe had a baseball game all at the same time. And she stayed 30 minutes at Kobe's game, 30 minutes at Tater's game, and 30 minutes at my game.
Just watching on the clock to make sure it was all equal, right?
She was just an amazing mother. There was nothing that she would not do for myself or for my 2 brothers.
And then there was that sweltering morning, June 2007. Teresa drove off to run errands and didn't come back. Kelsey was babysitting the boys, then 8 and 11. Hours ticked by. She called her mom, "Where are you?"
And she didn't answer. And then I called her back around lunch and she didn't answer. I called her pretty much all day long.
Her dad was at work. Her mom was who knew where. Just wasn't like her to do this.
Now, is she the sort of person who would take her cell phone with her everywhere?
Yes, it was attached to her hip.
You could always easily get hold of her.
Mm-hmm.
And you couldn't.
No.
By nightfall, still no word. Kelsey was in a panic. She called her dad, who by now had gone from his day job to his night shift at a local factory.
I'm sure you told your dad that you were worried.
Yeah, we kept in touch during the day to see if one of us had talked to her.
Did he seem to be worried?
He did, and we could never get in touch with her.
At midnight, it was clear something was terribly wrong. Scott left work to file a missing persons report with the Moundville police. And then they all waited.
What was it like for you that night?
It was awful. I was very scared when she didn't come home. And I pretty much knew in my heart that something was wrong.
The next morning, said Kelsey, she woke up in a house that no longer felt like home. She called her grandmother, Reba, at her home in Prattville, a town 2 hours away.
And she said, "Is Mama down there, your house?" I said, "No, but she's not here." And she said, "Mama didn't come home last night."
So what was going on in here?
oh, I'm just turning upside down. You know, I'm just tying in a knot.
Reba called Teresa's younger sister, Ashley, at her office at the local circuit court.
Mama called me and she said, Teresa's missing. I said, let me make some phone calls.
Right away, Ashley called the sheriff of her town, and he called Sheriff Ellis.
To see if they knew anything. And his response to me was, it's bad. It's bad.
It certainly was. They had found Teresa's truck on a dirt road less than a mile from home. She was slumped behind the wheel, and she was dead. And this much was perfectly clear. It wasn't an accident.